This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined with Caroline Dubois. We're here at the McGuigan's gym in Leighton. We're gearing up for a massive fight for you September 30th. You're back out. Other than that, how's things been? How you been keeping?
No, everything's been good. Just been keeping well, training hard, and looking forward to the fight day.
We'll talk about the fight date, September the 30th, fighting for the IBO. Another big stepping stone in your career, a world title, no matter what people feel about it. But when sort of fighting for this world title, how do you sort of feel going into this camp, and how has camp been for you when you keep ticking over this year?
Camp has been great. This one has been particularly good. You know, been doing 10 rounds now, stepping up to championship time and distance, and just been doing it with the boys. So it's been very, very motivating, and just letting me know that I'm in a good place, and I'm happy about that.
When you stepping up to 10 rounds now, what has there been much of a difference in training for you, or is it just is it more volume in the sense, how when you have new experience another step up in rounds, how do you sort of approach that?
Yeah, so we'll do more volume with the rounds, with the sparring, with the bags, more on the runs, and I think it's a lot to do with the sparring as well, because it's just about I'm fit now. It's just about doing the time and doing it in the ring, being patient, being calm, and knowing how to pace myself correctly, and I've been doing that.
Absolutely. Well, we talk about the stepping stone, and you talked about the sparring.
Yeah.
How much would you say you learn from the sparring? Because in women's boxing, everyone always says about the depth not always being there, and you said yourself you're going to get moved quickly, and already talking to people like Michaela Meyer and the top level people. But how much would you say, in your career, in your pro career so far, when you've turned over pro from the amateurs, you've learned so much in your sparring and getting top quality sparring in and learning to go 10 rounds?
Definitely. A lot of the times people say it's important to have hard fights and step up fights, because that's where the learning is. But I agree with that 100%. But I also agree the most learning that you do is in the gym. The most damage you take is in the gym. The rounds, the pounding and the sparring and the legs, that's all done in the work in the gym, and that's where the most learning is done. So it's very important that you have good sparring, good preparation, because it prepares you when you're stepping out there in the lights.
Would you feel like you find a lot more benefit getting moved quickly as opposed to, potentially having, where we see sort of early pros and male pros, they might have 10 journeymen in a way. So do you feel like you have much more of a benefit where you're learning on the job in a way?
To be honest, I feel like I'll get bored fighting like journeymen. For me, it would be just disappointing and disheartening having a hard training camp, doing sparring, running, dieting, all that, to fight someone who's got had 30, lost 20, 29. Do you know what I mean? It'd be very disheartening, and it doesn't mean anything. The victory means so little. I remember being an amateur, when you fight someone and they're a champion and you beat them, the feeling, the buzz, for nights you're thinking about that win, and I just missed that. So for myself, I personally would just want to move quickly, so I'm back in the mix of top talent. I want to walk in the room and know that I deserve to be there.
For yourself now, the motivation's always going to be there to box, but from what you're mentioning there about, when you want to box a top, do you feel like, whilst people may think, you're really good now, when you get there to fight the top level people, that's when we really see the best of you?
Yeah, 100%. It's all good stopping, journey women and people who are supposed to be getting beaten, but it's when you get up and you start stopping champions, start beating champions, beating them convincingly, beating them well, that's when people start putting respect in your name and taking note. And I think that will start happening, and it will definitely start happening soon.
Where you look now, you had a successful 2022, a successful 2023. Before you fight for this IBO, how do you measure the progress you have so far since the program?
I look at where I was as an amateur, I look at where I was now. The way I box now, the way I fight, the way I think in the ring, I look at that as the progress, and I look at that as the improvement. And I see a lot of improvement, and I see a lot of change, and I'm happy about where it's looking.
And you look now being 22, would you consider yourself, with your life experiences and being in the amateurs, would you say yourself you're a mature 22-year-old?
I hope so. I don't know, I think that's for the people around me to say. I like to think that I'm mature, and I look at things, I don't get too hyped about things, and I don't, I remember someone saying to stay calm. When things are going well, something great has just happened, stay calm, stay relaxed, don't let it get to your head. And then when something goes bad, you still got that same maturity, that same mindset to just relax. Don't let it get you down for too long, focus on what you need to do to improve. And I think that's a good mindset and a mindset that I try to do.
Would you say you've had a lot more maturing since you turned over pro in a way, being at the gym and everything like that? Like when you look at it, would you say like a lot of maturing has come in the pro game?
Yeah, 100%. I think as an amateur, especially on the GB team, you get up in the morning, you have the team motivating you to run, you got the coaches pushing you down the track, pushing you around the track, pushing you in the S&C and the sparring. Everyone's monitoring you. They monitor your weights. Every day you have to weigh in. So it's a lot of, obviously you're still doing the work, but it's a team effort and there's people pushing you to physically do that work. Whereas as a pro, it's a lot of it is taken under your own ownership, and you have to be responsible for yourself. And I think that's probably the best way that a person can mature and grow up.
Absolutely, and you look now where Michaela Meyer was always a fight you talked about, as always, you two, which could still happen in a way, but you see a lot of female boxers jumping up in weight. You see Jonas, how much he's sort of fluctuated in her weight. Do you think you could ever see yourself doing that, or do you want to sort of stick at a weight at the moment?
I mean, I want to stick at 135 for now. There's potential, there's fights for me, and I want to go through the weights. I think it'll be more difficult for me to be heavier than go down than to start light and then gradually move up, for my body and just for my mental health. Having to think, oh, now I need to drop 10 pounds, just be very disheartening. So I would love to be able to move up gradually, then jump up massively and then come back down. But saying that, if the opportunity came, obviously Katie Taylor's holding up the belts right now, and who knows what's going to happen next. Is she going to fight Chantelle? Is she going to win? Is she going to lose? Is she going to vacate a belt? Is she going to rematch Amanda Serrano? Who knows? That's the next 12 months taken up, so it really depends. If there's an opportunity at the heavier weights, I think anyone in their right mind will take it.
And you mentioned Katie Taylor there, and you talk about the top women's fights. Yourself being on the card when obviously you see Baumgartner and Mann, you see Shields versus Marshall. Being on and being involved, you look at Katie Taylor and the big nights that she's been in. When you look at her and yourself, you've had so much experience with boxing. Did you ever manifest sort of one day that the big lights are going to be for me, and Sky that push you so hard? They say you want to be the face of boxing. Do you think you managed to manifest that yourself and wanting to be a face of boxing? Is it something you really think about? Or?
Definitely, it's something that I've always wanted. I remember watching the big fights for the men and just thinking, one day, imagine if that could be me. Imagine if that could be me selling out. And then when I seen Katie Taylor sell out at Madison Square Garden against Amanda Serrano, then I seen Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall do it. That really set the dream alight. Let me know it's possible. Let me know that it's something that people want to watch, and it's a potential. So it definitely sets the dream alight. So it definitely makes me excited, and I want to aim high,
How do you think Katie Taylor does in the rematch against Cameron? Do you see much different?
I don't know. I think as tough as Katie Taylor is and how much she would want to win, I don't know if you can beat Father Time, and I think maybe it's caught up with her a little bit. We all seen it, she's definitely not the same Katie for 10 years ago, and that's no slight away from her because she's still a champion and she's still as tough and as gritty as they come. So I definitely think it'll be a tough fight, but I'd imagine Chantelle still get the victory. It looks like you're going to get run over here.
I'm about to get run over. I'll just move this for a second. I'm just going to get run over. And another sort of just a last one from me. We saw your brother Daniel box Oleksandr Usyk last month. What did you make of the performance, and what did you make of the fight overall?
I'll be honest, I didn't watch it like that. I find it very hard to watch my brother. I think I've always have done, and I've been pretty much open about that. But I watched little bits, I've seen little clips, and yeah, it was a tough loss, I'd imagine, and it's something that's going to be a bit difficult maybe for him to come back, like mentally disheartening, but it is what it is, when you try it, just as long as he tried his hardest, and I know he did, so that's the most important thing. Usyk's a champion, and he's a very good one, so you can't beat yourself up too much. I'm
saying, Caroline, thank you for your time. I really appreciate speaking to you, and all the best for September 30th. Thank you. Cheers.